Okay, so in last lecture we have seen these keywords, and today we'll start a next topic, that is Python identifiers. So like a keyword, we have seen how the keywords are used in Python. Similarly, in Python there is a Python identifiers, like a name given to the entities like class, function, variable, that we can say these are the identifier. By these identifier you can easily identify what is which the class. You can easily identify which class. In one program there are number, if there is a number of classes, so you can easily identify the which class, which function, which variable. How you able to identify? You have given a specific name to the entity. You have given a one specific name to the entity. Right, so that's why we can say these are the Python identifier. So what we have to do, we have to simply assign one name. By that, assign a name to the variable or the function or the class. Okay, so to do this, there are some rules that we have to follow. The rules are very simple. Like suppose if you are giving a name to one variable, right? Assigning a one name to the variable. So identifier can be the combination of letters in lowercase or uppercase or digit or an underscore. So actually here the Python allow you to assign a name, and your name could be the combination of lowercase, uppercase, digit, or by the underscore. We'll see the example here. The second rule, like here you could see like my class. In this example, M is capital and the remaining all the letters are in lowercase. Now here you will find a combination of the VAR, the letters are there, then underscore symbol is there, as well as a number is there. So your identifier could be the combination of all. But you have to remember this, you cannot write this number at the start of the identifier. For example, here like one underscore var. So this is not allowed. If the combination is allowed, but you cannot use digit number at the start. So this is not allowed. So keywords cannot be used as identifiers. Again, already I told you, like these are the different keywords, and every keyword have its own specific function, right? In last lecture we have seen practically we have used all these keywords. So definitely you cannot use this keyword for the identifier. Like you cannot use this keyword for the uh, to to assign a variable name or the function name or the class name. No, we cannot. We cannot use a special symbol like here exclamatory sign is there, at symbol is there, hash, dollar, percentage, like similar kind of special symbol. You cannot use in the identifiers. Like you cannot use this symbol for giving variable, function, class name. Identifier can be of any length. Here your identifier can be of any length. You will come to know how your identifier can be of in any length. Like for now we'll see whatever we have discussed. For example, one underscore var is equals to 18. So first we'll check, we'll see the positively var underscore 1 is equal to 18, and simply I will print var underscore 1. So see here, it is a combination of your text as well as number and underscore. And I have used assign this identifier for the variable name. And here I got the result. But we have discussed the multiple instruction condition. Like suppose you cannot use a special symbol, right? So we'll check. So as symbol I am using here, I got an error. Can assign to operator. So see here, we cannot use this in identifier a special symbol. The another restriction that we have seen, that is, you cannot use a number at the start. So at the beginning, suppose if I am writing 1 underscore 1 underscore vr, again I got an error, that is invalid token. So these are the things that you have to remember. So this vr is our identifier. This is one variable, right? Similarly, if I am using vr1 or vr2, this is my another identifier. And suppose if I'm adding here, so I got the answer, vr plus vr2, that is 30. So in this way, actually, we have to assign a variable name. Okay, so you have to remember these are the limitation. Then Python statement. So in Python statement, actually, if you are writing one line, then second line, third line, that time, actually we have to follow one specific rule in the programming. You cannot write your program in like a paragraph, right? So instruction that a Python interpreter can execute, because there is an interpreter. Interpreter is considering your one statement as a one instruction. So actually, we have to inform to the Python the end of the statement. Like this statement is ending here. This statement is ending here. And from this statement, the new line started. So that if you want to write multiple lines, so actually, how actually you can write multiple line? If you want to, suppose if you want to extend a statement uh, into a multiple line. Suppose there's one big statement is there, suppose, and if you want to write that one statement, your one line into the multiple line, then how it is possible? So that time we use this this slash, this continuation as a continuation character. So by this way, actually, we can extend the line. So here is the example how we can extend the line. For example, a is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus. Now see here, we are moving into the new line, 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus, again 7 plus 8 plus 9. But actually here we are moving into the new line, but we have to inform to Python, there's a one line. How we can do this? By simple this \. Simple by this character, actually, we are informing to the Python this is one statement. This is one continuous statement. Or instead of this, we can use this parenthesis like 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. By this way also, actually, we can write multiple line into a one line. And here, for example, red, blue, green, the multiple values are there in the form of your string. So again, into a different line, but actually here the Python, because of this bracket, it will consider as a one line. So we'll see practically how actually, for example, A is equals to suppose 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus suppose 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus then 7 plus 8. Okay. So what we'll get? We will get error. Because plus it is what the Python is considering is a one line, is another line, and something is missing here. So it is invalid syntax. Obviously, it is invalid syntax. Suppose I want to print here the final output, and suppose I will remove this part, then we'll see. So see here, your error mode here, 4 plus 5 plus 6. So if I comment here, I will get the answer, right? 6. But actually this is one statement. How actually we can inform to the Python? So we have seen simply what we will do. We will put here this class here. We'll see it works or not. See, I got the answer. So if you want to write one statement into the multiple line by this way, by this character, there's a / line, you can write a multiple statement, one statement into a multiple line. Or instead of this, we can add into a bracket and still you will get the answer, right? Or by this way actually, if you are writing like this way, red, blue, green, it will consider as a single statement. Right? So I hope, did you understand this Python statement? All the concepts are very simple. You are getting? You are getting all these concepts? Okay, thank you. Okay, the next one is that is Python indentation. So in the last lecture, we have discussed about this indentation. The same thing again we will discuss here, and you have to remember this important thing. Like this indentation you use in C, C++ as well as in Java. We use for this indentation, we use a curly bracket. And what is the use of this indentation? The main use is to define a block of code. Actually, we create a block of code. One block we are creating. For example, in a for loop, in a if statement, in do while, we have to create a block, and accordingly, actually, we execute whatever the statements in the block multiple times as per our condition. So Python also uses this indentation, but the different way. Here we will not use this curly bracket. Instead of this curly bracket, what we will do here, we will use a colon and we will provide a space. So a code block, like a body of a function, loop, etc., start with the indentation and end with the first unindented line. So actually how we can, for this open curly bracket, what we will use, we will use this colon. And for this second curly bracket, what we will use, we will remove this space. Once you will remove this space, actually, that is nothing but your close curly bracket. This is similar way you can understand. So by these indication, the Python interpreter can understand this is a block. And if the incorrect indentation is there, you will get indentation error. Now here you can easily understand the block. For example, for I in a range 1 to 11, colon is there. So see, every statement is have a space. What it means? All these statement belongs to this block because this block started, and for every statement there is a space. If you are writing a new statement without a space, what it means? This block finishes or terminate or completed here, right? See here, this is the first block, and in the first block there is another second block. In second block, here it is started, and his statement. So again, this colon, what it means? There is open curly bracket, and the break statement return with the space. If you are removing this space, automatically what happened? This block terminated here, for the new statement. If you write your new statement here, automatically this block will be terminated. This is very simple. Okay, so you have to practice this so that you can properly understand. Now here we'll see the same example for I in range like 1 to see automatically if you are using Jupyter notebook or any editor, automatically it will take a space. So automatically the next statement, for the next statement he have taken a space because the Jupyter is an editor, he knows. And if you simply install the Python, and for example, if you are writing your program in Notepad, you are not using any editor, that time you have to remember to assign a space. So what you understand here, the space having an importance in Python. So suppose print of I here, we get a number which is 1. Now, if, so this if also belongs to the same block. If I is equals to 5, if I is equals to 5, then break. So earlier it up to 10 it has printed, now it has printed up to the 5 because after this 5 the statement break. So suppose if I am writing a new statement here inside this loop, again, for example, print of I plus 1. So actually, this statement does not belong to this block. So after every in the for loop, it is incremented like 1 and 1 plus 1, that is 2, then 2, then again the next is a 3, then 2 plus 1, that is a 3, this way. Suppose I am writing here, so see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my answer is up to the 5 only. But here actually this statement completed, and this block is terminated here. How it is terminated? Because I have removed this space, and by this way this block is terminated. And what I did here, simply I have taken the value of I, and here the loop is terminated. For when the loop is terminated, the value of I is 5. So 5 plus 1, that is, it became 6. Very simple. In this way, here actually we can create a block. Did you understand this concept? Did you understand this concept? Kindly acknowledge through the chat box. Anyone have a doubt here? Anyone have a doubt? You can ask me through the chat box. How actually we use in C and how actually we use in Python. Okay, thank you. This important concept that you have to remember actually how we create a block. And you have to practice after this lecture. Okay. Next one is Python command. Okay, so what is the use of the Python command? Have you used commands in C, in your C program? What is the use of command? Acknowledge in the chat box. What is the use of command? Invisible to compiler. Yes, Shivang. Shivang, Oda is active. Uh, again, yes, invisible to the compiler. Whatever the statement you will write in a command, it will not executed. What is the use? It denote or describe the steps. Yes, for this purpose, actually, you have used this command line for user guidance only, or they are only understand purpose for understanding code easily. Right, all your answers are correct. Actually, if in the even in IT company, if someone is writing a code and actually in IT company generally the employee used to switch one company to another company within 4, 5, 6 years. But your project works around many time works more than 10 years. In that case, what happened? How the another person can understand? Because even in the maintenance where the code the company has to change even after 10 year, 15 year, and the code might have written by the number of person. So the person, whoever the another person is reading a code, he can easily understand. So that time also we use a comment. So comment having importance in the programming. You don't think it is only for to write the program name. No, actually it having its own the good purpose. So comments are actually very important while writing a program to understand the program, uh, the many purposes it has. So it describes what's going on inside a program, the main purpose actually. By this way, you can understand what is going on inside this program. For example, if you are written a function, what is the use of this function? So everything you can write in a comment. So actually in Python, you can write a command. Even in like in your C, you can write a multi-line command. That time you use a slash and star for the multi-line command, and for the single line command, what you use? Backslash, right? Uh, similarly, in Python, we use a hash in the beginning of each line. So suppose if you want to comment for a single line, we use a hash. And if you want to comment a multiple line, that time we can use either a single quote or double quote. So in Python, generally you will find a single quote, double quote. You can use either single quote or double quote. So there is no generally for other thing there is no difference, but here for the comment there is a little difference. Uh, for example, this is a program. Suppose if you want to comment here, you can use either this hash, and by using this hash, you can comment block one, and here suppose that we are commenting block two. Right, but this way actually you can understand this when I run this program, actually the C interpreter ignores it. So the user can easily understand the, the use of command. And if you write the command with a multiple line, so we can use this way. So this is the command line. Okay, or you can use command. So here actually, what is the difference here? Actually, here, as I told you, whatever we have written here, it is printed here with the output. Next one is a document string in Python. So docstring. Docstring generally we use as the name is the documentation string. Suppose if you want to assign a name to the particular function, particular class, so that time actually we use this document string. So it is a string that occurs as the first statement in a module, function, class, or method definition. That time actually we call it as a doc string because this is the first statement. Suppose this is a function that is started here and this is the first statement. So actually you can say it is like a comment line, but actually this is the first statement. That time we call it as a doc string, a document string. And we use like a triple quote are used while writing this doc string. But whenever actually you will find the first line, the first statement in a module, in a function, in a class, that time you will call this line as a docstring line. Now we'll say variable. You know about the variable. What is the use of this variable? In C programming, also you have used a variable. But you will find here is a difference in Python and C, C++, in Java. You will find while if you are using in C and if you want to use any variable, first you have to initialize your variable. Either your variable is integer, character, float. So you will not find here character is not there. Whatever thing is there, in Python it will consider as a string. And here you no need to specify uh, explicitly like your variable is integer, character, or float. But you can identify the type. It is integer, character, or float. So a variable is a name location used to store data in the memory. So we know actually in a C you learn how the variable name we use a variable name. For example, if you are using integer a is equals to 10, so we are giving a name, the variable name, to the memory location where whatever the value is stored over there. And we are, for example, you are declaring your value that is a 10. So it is actually we are giving assigning a memory location name. If you are changing the value, your name would be the same. We are taking an input, for example, integer a, and if you are taking an input from the user, and whatever value will be, if you are giving to that variable, that value will be assigned to that variable, right? So what we can say, a variable is a name location. It is a name location used to store data in the memory. So whatever that memory address, whatever value is there, that value will be assigned to the respective variable. So declaring variables in Python. So variable declaration or variable initialization happens automatically when assign a value to a variable. So actually here, uh, Like suppose I'm assigning a value to the variable like sample is equals to 10. So automatically this 10 value will be assigned to this variable that is a sample. Like for example, suppose I am assigning a value that is this string is there, website is equals to apple.com, and suppose I am printing this print website. So I will get the same output that is apple.com. And suppose here I am assigning website is equals to apple.com, and later uh, I am assigning a new variable that is program is .com. And if suppose I am printing, what would be the answer for the second program? What would be the answer for this program? What would be the answer? Apple.com or this program is.com? Right. Automatically, new value would be assigned to the variable. Uh, Thank you for your response. Now we'll see the next concept, that is assigning multiple values to the multiple variables. Now here actually what we are doing here, we are assigning multiple values. Now suppose A, B, C, the three variable I am using, and see here I am assigning value 5, then 3.2, and then hello. So here actually here this is the integer value, right? This is a float value. And in C, it is a character value, but here it is we consider as a string, right? And suppose if I print here, so respectively, automatically the Python, it will consider it as it is an integer data type, it is a float data type, it is a string data type. Automatically, your Python interpreter will consider the respective data type. Even we can assign the same value to the multiple variable at once in Python. At once, if you want to assign the same value to the multiple variables, simply you have to write that x is equal to y is equal to z is equals to same. Automatically, the same value would be assigned to the all variables. I will see here. A is equals to the first example, first A, B, and C is equals to 5, comma 3.2, comma, for example, the string hello. And suppose I'm printing here print A, the same, print B, and the same, the print C. And pattern this, so see here, the automatical interpreter have considered it as an integer, here it is a float, and here string, and here is output, 5, 3.2, hello. But the same thing if you want to implement in C, you have to first initialize the value is like this is an integer, this is a float, and this is a string. Accordingly, the C compiler reserved respective memory for the respective variables. Another example that we have seen, like suppose the same value if you want to assign to the multiple variable, in this way we can assign x and y. So see here, the answer is same, same, same. The next is a constants. Constant. Uh, so constant actually is a type of variable whose value cannot be changed. We know, like for example, the pi value. We use a pi value as 3.14. Gravity is a 9.8. For example, suppose in your program there are few value that you have to use the same value. Always you have to use the same value that are like a constant value. So that time, how actually we can use this value in our program, and that value cannot be changed. So for example, here, these are the two values that are required in our program. So how we can, first, we will uh, save the program like constant.py, and here we will initialize this value like pi is equals to 3.14 and gravity is equals to 9.8, and we will save this program as a constant.py. And whenever you want to use this value, what you have to do, you have to simply import this constant.py in your program, and directly you can use this value in your program. But there is one rule that you have to remember: the constants are written in all capital letters and underscore separating the word. Suppose here is a pi. So here is a pi, so it is a capital gravity. Again, it is in the capital letter. And suppose if you want to assign a gravity on moon, gravity on earth, so how actually you have to write gravity underscore moon, gravity underscore earth. In this actually you have to write. So if you want to separate the two words, we have to add underscore in between two words. So here the concept is very simple. What I saved one program by using constant.py, and simply I have imported this program here in next program, that is a main.py. So in main.py, actually we can import this like import constant. The constant is the name of this program. Another Python program, the same C.py, the same program. Here I have defined some constant, and that value I have to use here. So how actually I can use this value? Whenever you want this value, simply you have to write constant dot your value, that is pi, then constant dot gravity. So first we have to use this file name dot the variable name, that pi, gravity. So I hope you could understand. You have to do this the same thing, but only the thing that you have to remember, you have to save both the program in same folder. That time only it will import the another program. If you are storing your constant.py in C drive and your main.py is in the G drive or is in a different folder, even both the programs are in the same drive, the program will not run. Okay. So actually, literals we how to initialize a variable like numeric as a string, boolean, or the special. That time, this format that we have to follow. Like suppose numeric. So numeric vr is equals to okay. This way only we write. If it is a string, if it is a string, that time we have to write this string in double quote. The same in C also it is the same. If it is a string, we have to write. If it is a character, we have to write in the quote. Boolean, if it is a Boolean value, the double quote is not required. But here, either it is a true or false. Obviously, the Boolean is either 0 or 1. So always this variable or the constant would be either true or false. But is a special interest like food is equals to none. That time also we don't have to use this double quote. But here either you can write a none or whatever the value you want to write. So this is the concept of Okay, am I audible? Okay. So the next important concept is that is data type. So in Python, you will find there is mainly two types of data type we use. That is immutable data type and mutable data type. So whenever I will discuss in our further topic, always I will use this mutable and immutable word. Mutable and immutable. Mutable means what? Kindly acknowledge through the chat box. Mutable and immutable. What would be the difference? What will be the difference in between mutable and immutable? The answer is on the screen. Immutable means values cannot be changed, and mutable means value can be changed. Right. Thank you. So this data type here, the values cannot be changed. So practically we'll see in program how actually you cannot change a value in numbers, in string, in tuples, and mutable means here the value can be changed. Like in the list, in dictionary, in sets, we can change the value. Okay, so accordingly, actually, you can differentiate these data type. Other you will find your tuple is like a same, your list is the same, dictionary and set you will find is a collection. Nah? Like in your C program, you use like an array in which there is a number of elements are there. So you will find here is also like a same way. Your tuples as well as list both are looking same to same. Even your the set is looking like a list. So when the tuple list set it is looking like a same. And the dictionary actually there is a little difference, but again it is a collection. So actually, what is the exact difference in between tuple, list, set, dictionary that you have to remember? Okay. So data type are actually classes, and variables are instances, object of these classes. Uh, so these are the different data types we use: numbers, list, tuple, string, set, dictionary. So we can say, like suppose if you are, we can say this is a list, is a, like a class, and whatever you write a list that variable that is like an object. So you can say these are the like a classes and in respect to object. That's why this line is written here. The concept is very simple. Now the Python numbers. We have seen actually the similar type of concept in integer float, but in Python numbers. So in Python, you will find is three types of numbers like integer, float, and complex numbers. So integer actually can be of any length. It is only limited by the memory available. So this for the, like in C, there's a specific memory size is available. Like suppose in integer, long, this type of uh, variable that you have to assign over there, right? But here actually you are writing integer. So as per whatever the memory is available, accordingly it will allocate to the number. Here you no need to specify like a long integer or the integer. No, simply integer. Even actually, automatically your interpreter will consider it as an integer or float or complex. You no need to explicitly write over in your program. Floating point number is accurate up to 15 decimal places. That thing you have to remember. Like 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So around up to the 15 places, up to the point 15, decimal places, you will get accurate answer. And complex number is like x plus yj, like your x is a real part and yj is imaginary part. So this is a third type of number, that is a complex number. So as I told you earlier, explicitly, you no need to specify the type here. Automatically, your interpreter will consider it as per the type. And even you can ask to the interpreter the type of your number, and you will get the response like it is integer or float or complex. So type to know which class variable or value belong to, like it belong to an integer or float or complex, and is instance to check a variable or value belong to a particular class. We'll see this. A is equals to, for example, this is one number and b is equals to 1 is another number, and so c is equals to 1 plus 2j, real and imaginary part, and suppose I'm printing this a, b and c, b and c. So see here, I have not initialized it as this is an integer or this is a float and this is a complex number. I have not initialized, but automatically here interpreter have considered it as this is an integer, this is a float, and this is a complex, and here I got the answer. The same way, if you are writing in a C, what will happen? You will get the error, right? First, you have to write this is an integer number, this is a float number. But in Python, it's so easy. And suppose if you want to identify that their type, so simply write down here the type and the, like type of A, and you run here. So you will come to know that and type C. See here. So if you are writing type A, type B, type C, you will come to know the number, your number is an integer number, float number, or complex number. Okay. So I think your time is over. This lecture time is over. Do you have another lecture? After this lecture, do you have another lecture? Okay. So I have to stop here. So do you understand whatever we have discussed in today's lecture? Okay. So very soon I will upload one test on Moodle, and accordingly I will put the same schedule on your WhatsApp group. Hmm? You have to attempt the test. So whatever the concept we have discussed till date, I will add in a test, and the test I will schedule for 1 hour. So within 1 hour, you have 1 hour you have to attempt the test. Okay. Thank you very much. Now you can leave the session because the time is over. Thank you.